I never pictured myself as the guy who would go through his wife's phone. But trust doesn't just break all at once. It spoils slowly, quietly, the way fruit rots when it sits in the sun too long. And I think deep down, I already sensed something was wrong long before I ever picked it up. Her name is Lauren. We've been married 7 years, living in Denver. No kids yet. I always assumed we were one of those couples people looked up to. Steady, funny, connected. Inside jokes, dates, a rhythm that came easy. But sometimes comfort hides decay better than chaos ever could. Everything shifted after her Vegas trip with her old college friends. A girls' weekend. She said, I didn't question it. She deserved a break. Work had been brutal. I trusted her. Well, I used to. She left Thursday. By Saturday night, she hardly answered my texts. When I called, she said the music was too loud. She'd call tomorrow. She never did. When she came back, she wasn't obviously different, but the small things gave her away. The way she kept her phone face down. The way she giggled at messages like someone was talking directly into her veins. The way she skirted her eyes when I asked how the trip went. Fun? I asked. She smirked way too quickly. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. She meant it like a joke, but something beneath that smirk felt smug, secretive. Weeks passed, and I tried to silence the voice inside me telling me to pay attention. Told myself I was overthinking. Too much overtime. Too many unfinished conversations. Then one night, she fell asleep with her phone unlocked on the couch. A message from a guy named Mike popped up, still thinking about that night. Vegas was wild. You were trouble in the best way. My whole chest went numb. I didn't scroll. I couldn't. I just stared at her sleeping there. Realizing somewhere along the way the woman next to me became someone I didn't recognize anymore. The next morning, I acted normal. Went to work. Came home. Pretended. I wasn't ready to explode. I was gathering truth. Over the next few days, more deleted conversations, disappearing DMs, her taking her phone to the bathroom just to brush her teeth. Then one night, she said she had a work hangout. When she came home, her perfume smelled different. Not bad, just not hers. I started sleeping like someone being hunted by their own thoughts. Finally, one Friday night at dinner, I poured her a glass of wine. She looked almost nervous. You've been quiet lately, she said. Just tired. I'm going to Kelly's tomorrow. Girls' night again. I watched her do that little hair tucked behind her ear, the same one she used to do when she lied to her mom in college. Back then, I thought it was cute. Tonight, it felt rehearsed. The next day, I didn't say anything when she left. I got in my car and drove to her favorite bar across town, the one she claimed she never goes to anymore. And there she was, walking in with a man. Tall, brown hair, that effortless confidence people naturally lean in toward. She laughed when he touched her hand, the same laugh I hadn't heard in months. I sat there in silence, engine off, watching through my windshield for nearly an hour. And I didn't feel rage, not sadness, just a heavy clarity that stung worse than anger ever could. When she came home after midnight, I was sitting on the couch waiting. How was girls' night? I asked. She forced a smile. Good. Why? Because Mike seemed like fun company. Her face turned white. Her brain froze. She laughed a shaky laugh. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You mean Mike? That's not a secret anymore. Silence filled the room like a weight pressing down. She crossed her arms, but her fingers trembled. You're being dramatic, she snapped. It was a joke. You're blowing this OU. I saw the messages. I said quietly. You and Mike. Vegas was wild. You were trouble. Ring a bell? Her lips parted, then closed. When she finally spoke, it wasn't an apology. It was an excuse. It meant nothing. I was drunk. I exhaled a small laugh. So that's who I am to you now. The guy who pays bills while you find excitement somewhere else? Tears formed in her eyes. You don't get it. I felt invisible. Ethan, you're never here. And your answer was Vegas? She opened her mouth. No words came. Silence answered for her. I stood up, calmly. I couldn't sit anymore. You could have talked to me. You could have told me you were lonely. Instead, you made a betrayal I can't unsee. It wasn't permanent, she whispered. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. Not another man's hotel room. She flinched, and for a second, I almost felt bad. Almost. I didn't want to hurt you, she said quietly. You just didn't want to get caught. She sank onto the couch, shaking, trying to piece excuses together that didn't land anywhere real. I walked into our bedroom, grabbed an overnight bag, and packed what I needed. Calm, like my body already knew how to leave before my mind admitted it. She followed. You're really leaving? I zipped the bag. You wanted freedom, Lauren. I'm giving it to you. Ethan, please don't. For 1 second, I saw the girl who used to fall asleep on my chest in thunderstorms, who laughed over burnt pancakes. But that version of her was gone under layers of lies. She needed to feel alive again. I didn't break this, Lauren. You did. I walked out, closed the door behind me. The air outside felt colder, sharper. I drove with no destination. Ended up in a cheap motel off a highway. The kind of place that smells like cigarettes and old TV static. Paid $50 cash. No questions asked. That night, I didn't sleep. I scrolled through old photos, vacations, holidays, smiles that once felt real. Somewhere between comfort and routine, love turned into distance. Days later, her messages started rolling in. Please come home. We can fix this. It was one night. Don't throw everything away. But she didn't get it. It was never just Vegas or Mike. It was respect. The quiet kind you don't even notice until it's dead. Once that breaks, the cracks never go away. I didn't reply. I didn't pick up. Instead, I called a lawyer. Calm. Simple. Like booking a flight. Papers. Signatures. 2 lives split clean. A month later, she walked into the diner I go to sometimes for breakfast. I saw her through the window before she saw me. She looked smaller, like her armor finally crumbled. She sat down slowly. Hey, you look good. I set my coffee down. You too. I've been thinking, she said softly, about us, about everything. I made a mistake. I miss you. For a moment, that old ache tugged. But it wasn't love anymore. It was just nostalgia wearing her face. I miss who we used to be, I said, but that version of us isn't real anymore. Her eyes filled with tears. She whispered, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? I gave a tired half-smile. No, what happens in Vegas just reveals who people really are. When I walked out of that diner, the sunrise stretched across the city like a thin gold line. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like peace. And finally, that was enough.